Good luck to you. Now, from over 1,000 nominations, we are down to just 3 finalists in our search for an Inspirational Women of the Year. Barbara Windsor, Baroness Helena Kennedy and myself had the task of narrowing down all your entries. It was really tough. So far this week, we've introduced you to 2 of our finalists. Today, it's time to meet our last. Marilyn Baldwin has been nominated by her husband Peter, thanks to her tireless work preventing vulnerable people from falling victim to scams.
I think that Marilyn's deserving of this prize because she's been absolutely relentless in a pursuit of these people who have created these scams.
In one day, 22,000 people replied to one scam mail shot and sent £500,000. This spurred me on to start the Think Jessica campaign. Me and my mother had always had a very close relationship. She was a brilliant nan and mother. She received a letter when she was in her 70s that told her she'd won a competition and all she had to do to claim the prize was send off a small fee. Obviously she was excited, she told the family, and we told her, you've fallen for a scam. Over the 5-year period that my mother was being scammed, she received around 30,000 letters. We argued a lot. She would get very suspicious of me going to the house. She thought people were stealing her mail, trying to interfere in her private life.
The effect on Marilyn and her mum's relationship was horrendous at times. It was sad to see her mum being brainwashed in this manner. It
was just like watching somebody you love being mugged every day and being powerless to stop them. I spoke to mum's postman and he said, oh no, it's not just your mum, there's loads of pensioners that are getting these large volumes of mail. The Think Jessica campaign, it's the only charity that concentrates on protecting and raising awareness to elderly and vulnerable people. Literally thousands of relatives started to contact me and say, my nan, my dad, my mum, we're going through this, we thought we were alone, we thought we were one off.
My dad had blown about £90,000. Had we not come across Marilyn and met Marilyn with all her support, that would have continued.
We've had thousands of posters in shopping centres, train stations. This is all to reach out to those people who haven't got internet access, who can write in, get a free booklet and get forewarned and get educated about mass marketing fraud.
About £3.5 billion is lost each year to scam mail and other mass marketing scams. But the problem is people don't report it. And this is one of the fantastic bits of work that Marilyn's done, in that she encourages people to report.
The length she goes to with the campaign is literally a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week occupation. She is the only one out there that's been doing anything about this.
My mum made a massive difference to thousands of families.
She's touched so many people's lives. Certainly touched mine. I think she's an inspiration.
Well, I'm delighted to see that Marilyn is here now along with her husband Peter. It's great to see both of you. What an amazing thing to do. And as we saw there, it's a relatively small operation reaching out to as many people as you can. Yes. And clearly it must be so difficult for you to see your mum being scammed like that and taken advantage of like that.
Yes, it's really difficult because every time I see this kind of film footage that I recorded of her, it does upset me. But to think that there's thousands and thousands of other elderly and vulnerable people out there that are being targeted exactly the same way as my mum was being done, and there was nothing being done to help these people. And you get a lot of people saying that, well, I wouldn't fall for it, you can see it's a scam, but who knows whose mental health is going to decline when they get older.
Well, exactly, they become, and a lot of elderly people, as you say, if they are vulnerable, and if they are maybe, there might be some form of early dementia onset,
yes,
and they can. And all of us, if you get something through the post, there's a little bit of you that would love to believe that, isn't there? There really is. You can understand how people, and they almost need to be protected from themselves in a way.
That's right, and the psychology that these criminals use is so powerful.
Yes.
They've won the competition. They're not entering it, they've won it. They've got clairvoyants telling them they'll lose a grandchild if they don't pay up. They've got letters coming in from FBI agents saying the house is being watched. It's blackmail, and that's why the Think Jessica campaign is called Scam Mail is Blackmail. And these are all silent victims, and it's an absolutely huge crime. Recent seizures in 3 separate days took 800,000 scam mailings out of the postal system.
800,000?
Yes.
That's extraordinary, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you're there to help. and also to campaign as well, to try and stop this from actually, you know, from these disgusting bits of paper to actually get through people's doors in the first place.
That's right, and I think what we're doing at the Think, Jessica, we're reaching out to these people that often live alone, and you've got to remember that these criminals are targeting people on mailing lists that do live alone. They're the preferred victims. Maybe a lot of them have got declining mental health, but even if they haven't, a lot of older people are trusting.
No, of course.
They believe what they read. It looks official. It looks genuine.
They're very, very clever and very, very cunning. And Peter, the work that's been doing here is absolutely fantastic. I know you wholeheartedly support everything that's being done. And for Marilyn, why do you think she should win the competition?
Well, I think she should win the competition because when she started this project 8 years ago, 7 years ago, there were no one else doing it out there. And now she reaches out to both Scotland, Wales and England. The full story is the UK, completely.
Oh, that's fantastic. It really is. And a very, very good way to remember your mum.
That's
you know,
right.
Having it in her name.
And that's why I'm doing this. It is for my mum and to stop other elderly people. And like I say, it's such a huge problem that nobody's tackled. And
Oh, you are for sure. Thank you both very much indeed. Great to meet you. Well, the hard part now, it's in your hands. Marilyn joins Siobhan and Sandra, who of course we met earlier this year. But only one of our 3 finalists can be your Woman of the Year. And tomorrow I'll be telling you how you can vote for your favourite. In the meantime, you can remind yourself of all their stories, incredible stories, on our website, itv.com/Lorraine.